Good evening. Nairman is off tonight. More than $17,000 worth of drugs is off the streets after a Bonnyville RCMP investigation. 2 Bonnyville men have been charged with a number of drug and weapons-related offenses after police took down a suspected drug house yesterday morning. Fraser Snowden has more.
Upon learning of the bust from a number of tips gathered, the Bonnyville RCMP found a variety of things in the house.
There was primarily marijuana, so cannabis marijuana. There was also what we term cannabis resin, which is a different sort of derivative of the same plant. There was also some psilocybin, which is known as magic mushrooms.
The street value of the drugs? Just over $17,000. Police also found a number of firearms at the house, more than 3,200 rounds of ammo, and $5,000 in cash. Gandolfi says they have an idea of the operation that was happening out of the house.
People that were operating a drug house selling drugs, possibly running what we term a dial-a-dope business, where they drive around and basically take orders for delivery and that kind of thing.
He adds that there are some telltale signs you can watch for if you are suspicious of illegal activity.
Vehicles coming and going, not staying for very long. You know, if you've got a vehicle that arrives and is gone within 5 or 10 minutes, well, that's a little bit unusual. Depending on how many vehicles you see on any particular evening, you can draw some conclusions there.
25-year-old Ryan Smith and 21-year-old Bradley Roberts of rural Bonnyville both face charges as a result of the search. They are scheduled to appear in court next Tuesday. In Bonnyville, Fraser Snowden, Newcap News.
Battleford's rural RCMP have charged a Prince Albert man with indecent assault. Morris Herenichuk is facing 8 counts of indecent assault after a lengthy investigation with allegations dating back to 1964. It's alleged to have happened at the Moosomin First Nation Day School, which is band operated and no longer exists. Herenichuk will be in court in North Battleford on February 13th. A plea has yet to be entered. The future of area roads and highways was a major topic last night as the Border City hosted a special transportation meeting put on by the Alberta government. It was a chance for locals to voice their concerns and provide input as the province develops a 50-year transportation strategy.
The consultation process will take place in 2 phases.
It was a back-and-forth affair at the Service Sports Centre as Alberta government officials listened to concerns and took notes on what locals think of the state of roads and highways at the moment. Transportation civil engineer Dean Sproul was just one of the locals that came to the open meeting. He says he wanted to express his concern about the Kitscotty approach.
Possible we could get a overpass placed. That's a big priority for the year.
All the information gathered over the night goes directly into a provincial report and will be used to form a transportation plan for the future.
I noticed that they did capture a lot of the suggestions from the turnout here tonight, and that she will be recommending they incorporate those changes into their goals and objectives.
Mayor Rob Saunders says he was happy with the turnout for the talk and that the border city's future is closely tied with the intersecting highways.
I think first and foremost we want safe, reliable, smooth-flowing transportation systems that accommodate both people and products.
As for Sproul, he says he's content with how things are being handled for now, but says improvements can always be made.
I'd like to see more funding placed on maintenance and whatnot for the highway systems throughout Alberta and even into Saskatchewan.
The town hall meetings will be held in 18 communities throughout the province. As we grow old, forgetting a name or what we were about to say may seem normal, but for many seniors, memory loss can often turn into dementia. In this week's Healthy Living, Anna Stanislaw takes an in-depth look at dementia and finds out what signs to watch out for.
Ellen Lehman, a licensed practical nurse at this seniors housing facility, deals with patients who have dementia and says it affects their daily activities.
The things like we take for granted, like getting up and getting dressed in the morning and brushing our hair and our teeth, and those are the common signs, or not being able to prepare your own meals.
Requiring a little more assistance and supervision than others.
when dealing with these residents, we sometimes have to be a little bit more patient and tolerable, and you have to be very, very understanding.
Dementia is a syndrome with many types of brain disorders, including Alzheimer's disease. Jim Walls of the Alzheimer's Society of Saskatchewan says dementia can be very devastating, changing people's lives gradually.
Dementia and Alzheimer's disease is not a normal part of aging, and that it's a disease that should be considered a disease like Parkinson's or any other sort of chronic illness.
Some of the warning signs besides major change in memory is disorientation of time and place, changes in mood, behavior and personality, and loss of initiative.
Ability to use words and language sometimes is a warning sign. Ability to plan and think.
According to the Alzheimer's Society of Canada, back in 2011, more than 740,000 Canadians were diagnosed with dementia. Now, if that doesn't change or no cure is to be found, it will increase to 1.4 million people by 2031. Preventing the onset of dementia begins with daily exercise, healthy eating, and keeping active mentally, whether it's learning new skills, languages, or playing games.
I need a friend to help me.
For more information, visit alzheimer.ca. Anna Stanislaw, Newcap News.
Thanks, Annika. The Saskatchewan government has launched a new pilot program with the hopes of increasing the amount of skilled laborers in the agriculture sector. Kyle Gallagher explains in this week's Ag Report.
It's no secret that there's a shortage of trained workers in the ag industry.
Semi-skilled labor is one of the, probably the major problem that they have in producing in Saskatchewan.
So the government has launched a new pilot project to deal with the issue. The Agricultural Operator Program is a module-based system offering practical hands-on training to people interested in working on farms. The first 3 modules will be seeding, spraying, and harvest.
In future years, we expect this to also include the livestock industry, and the program will grow as and evolve as time goes on, and we find out through experience what works and what doesn't.
The program is a big commitment from the federal and provincial governments as part of the Saskatchewan Plan for Growth.
$200,000 invested to develop the curriculum and get the thing started. There's tuition that will be charged. It'll pretty much make the program self-sufficient as time goes on.
The program will be delivered at the Parkland Recreational College in Yorkton.
There's certainly a willingness on their part to be part of this pilot and to help develop the curriculum with Lakeland College in Vermilion, Alberta. And so they turned out to be great partners.
Classes for the seeding module run from March 3rd to April 16th. Agriculture Minister Lyle Stewart says he expects to have 10 to 20 people take part in the first year. Kyle Gallagher, Newcap News.